Hi there guys, it's Adam Martin here, and welcome back to another installment of the Now Review. And this time we have another release to take a look at today, another release in one of the many series that Now is doing at the moment. It is back to the 1980s, come time travel with me back to 1981, as we examine this album, which is Now 12-inch 80s, 1981. So you may remember a couple of months ago, we had Now 12-inch 80s 1980, and even though the 12-inch concept did start in the mid to late 70s, I'd argue it was the 1980s where the concept and the format of like the 12-inch single, the extended mix, the dance mix, whatever you want to call it, really took off, particularly towards the mid to end of the decade, or maybe those are the mixes I favour the most. But we started in 1980 and we're continuing on now by a year-by-year basis. I really enjoyed that first release and I'm so glad that they're continuing it into 1981. I can't wait to see what is on here. Just looking at the cover, if you remember, that first release had more of a like purplish hue to the front cover with like that blue-green title text. The title text is in that sort of same format. You've got the Now fonts there in this box. They're more like pink fading into purple and blue, which oddly enough reminds me of a red and blue slush puppy mixed together, because I always used to get those as a kid. The 1981 font there is in that, very early digital clock sort of style, which is so fitting for the 1980s when all of that sort of stuff was becoming more common, more prevalent. And you can see that the actual front cover, the background, reflects that changing colour but in reverse. So with the Now font and stuff, whereas it's pink at the top, the background is blue at the top and fades down into that pink colour as well. Now there is this little logo here on the bottom left, and many of you pointed out to me on the last installment of this that those are like equalizer bars, that you hear on sound and stuff, which I think is a neat touch. I like seeing them here anyway. They're quite fun, just a neat little icon to have, helps differentiate them out as we go. As you can see from the spine, this is housed in the Now standard like 4 CD packaging that a lot of Now spin-offs come in. Obviously better for the environment than the old jewel cases and things like that. But we're going to flip this on over now and take a look at the all-important extended 12-inch track list. So on CD 1, you have Duran Duran with Planet Earth, the night version. Ooh. The Human League with The Sound of the Crowd, the 12-inch version. Japan with Quiet Life, the extended version. Visage with Visage, the 12-inch dance mix. You have Ultravox with All Stood Still, the 12-inch version. Spandau Ballet with Glow, the 12-inch version. Freeze with Southern Freeze, the 12-inch version. I'm going to be saying that a lot, aren't I? Haircut 100 with Favourite Shirts or Boy Meets Girl, the 12-inch version. ABC with Tears Are Not Enough, the 12-inch remix. Heaven 17 with Play to Win, the 12-inch version. Soft Cell and Bedsitter, the extended version. And Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark with Extended Souvenir, which of course is a longer version of their track Souvenir. So 12 tracks on CD1. We have to remember a lot of these tracks being 12-inch remixes are, 5, 6, 7, even longer in length. So there are going to be less tracks, but longer songs. So if that's your thing, you're in for a treat. CD2 kicks off with Blondie and Rapture, one of their best tunes, the special disco mix. The Tom Tom Club with Wordy Rapping Hood, the extended version. UB40 and Don't Slow Down, the extended version. The Specials and Ghost Town, the extended version. Bananarama with Aya Mwana, I'm probably saying that wrong, but this is the US extended version. Altered Images with Happy Birthday, the dance mix. Bow Wow Wow with Chihuahua, the 12-inch version. Suey and the Banshees with Spellbound, the 12-inch mix. Simple Minds and the American, the extended remix. Japan and the Art of Parties, the 12-inch version. And Visage again with Mind of a Toy, the dance mix. 11 tracks there, so we're on 23. CD3 kicks off with Olivia Newton-John and one of her best-known hits, Physical. This is the long version. You have Sharon Red with Can You Handle It, the full-length version. High Gloss with You'll Never Know, the full-length version. Grace Jones with Pull Up to the Bumper, the party version. Debbie Harry with Backfired, the extended version. Yarborough and Peoples with Don't Stop the Music, the long version. Earth, Wind and Fire and Let's Groove, the holiday version remix. Love that tune anyway. Odyssey with Going Back to My Roots, the 12-inch version. Shalimar with Make That Move, the 12-inch version. The Whispers and It's a Love Thing, the 12-inch version. The Jones Girls and Nights Over Egypt, again the 12-inch version. And Champagne with How About Us, again the 12-inch version. So another 12 tracks there, so we're on 35 total. CD4, Visage for the third time with Fade to Grey, my favourite tune of theirs and a lot of people too. This is the 12-inch version. You have Soft Cell with Tainted Love or / Where Did Our Love Go, the extended version. The Human League and Don't You Want Me, their big tune of 81, the extended dance mix. Duran Duran with Girls on Film, another big banger there, the night version. Spandau Ballet with The Freeze, that's 2 songs that have Freeze in the title. This is the special mix. Altered Images with I Could Be Happy, the 12-inch mix. Dollar with Handheld in black and white, the extended version. Modern Romance with Everybody Salsa or Salsa Rhapsody, the disco mix. Otter One with Hands Up, the 12-inch version, Stars on 45 with Stars on 45 Volume 2 / More Stars, the 12-inch version, and we finish off with Louis Clark conducting the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra and Hooked on Classics, the long version. So 11 tracks, which means in total then we have 46 tracks across 4 CDs, all of them in there, 12-inch, extended, special, whatever you want to call it, all of them in a longer format to the singles releases. We'll talk more about the track list in just a second, but as we always do, let's open this up, let's see what's inside. As you can see, they have also available, but funnily enough, do you see that? They've advertised Now 12-inch 80s 1980 twice. I'm not quite sure why they've done that. They do have other 12-inch 80s extended albums and such. I don't know, maybe that's just an error. Let me know in the comments, is that on your copy as well, or is that just a printing error on mine? But it's very odd. And of course, follow them on their social medias, including X, not Twitter, it's X. And for the disc, they go in that gradient of colour changes, which I really like as well. Nice to see that the front cover logo presented in like white. I think that's really sleek, really nice. CD1 kicks off with a more pink tone. CD2 goes for more like pinky purple. CD3 fully diverges into that purple. And CD4 brings us back to a blue. And I mean, I'm simple for a colour gradient, aren't I? But I do love it when colours change and morph like that rather than them all necessarily be the same. Whilst when they're all the same, they look a bit more uniform. I think this design, like where it changes colour, is just a bit more interesting, quite frankly. So yeah, happy with the disc design. So in terms of the track list, I'm a big fan of the 12-inch concept anyway, in terms of like extended mixes, so naturally I'd be interested in picking this album up. I will say a lot of the original versions, or the single versions if you like, are available on other Now albums, namely, for example, Now Yearbook 81, Now Yearbook 81 Extra. Some of these extended mixes, I'm fairly sure as well, have appeared before on Now. They did a trilogy of Now 12-inch 80s releases. What were they called? That was just 12-inch 80s, 12-inch 80s extended, and then 12-inch 80s remixed. So, you know, it's not necessarily a brand new concept. So if you have those albums, you might see some repeats here. But if you don't, and you're coming to this via this individual year series, I think there's a lot to like here. You know, 1981 was a big time for like the synthesizer music coming in. A lot of those groups like the Human League, Duran Duran, etc., Japan, Visage, Ultravox, a lot of acts were getting their big boom in the early part of the 80s here. I wouldn't say it's my favourite year, and I definitely know if they continue this spin-off line on, I'm definitely going to enjoy it more when we get to like 85 onwards, because a lot more of those songs were songs that I personally enjoy, particularly in their 12-inch remixed form. So yeah, I'm still happy with this. A lot of the extended mixes I do like on here, but I can't wait till we get into the later half of the decade, personally. In terms of where you can get it, it's all the usual places. I get mine from HMV. Retails in these places for between, say, £11 and £13. You can get it in your local supermarket, Morrison's, Asda if they still stock new CDs, or your independent music retailer if they do the same. But there's many places where you can get this. I don't think this will be in short supply. And hopefully, you know, these early releases will do well, so we can eventually get to the later half of the 80s, which I'm super excited about. But yes, another solid release in the 12-inch 80s spin-off series. That's all for this installment of the Now Review. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please remember to leave a like on the video. That really helps us out. And let me know down in the comments, are you going to be picking up this album as well, or is it one you're going to give a miss? Let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. And I've been Adam Martin from AMTV Now. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time for another spin on the turntable.